Success doesn't come to those who wish. It comes to those who work with unwavering consistency. The difference between people who dream about a better life and those who live it is not talent, not luck, not even timing. It's consistency. Consistency is the bridge between desire and destiny. You can have the greatest vision, the deepest faith, and the most detailed plan, but without consistency, everything collapses. The one who shows up every day, even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when no one is watching, that's the one who wins. You see, consistency doesn't look powerful in the beginning. It looks ordinary. It looks repetitive. It looks like nothing is changing. But the truth is, everything is changing just beneath the surface. Small actions, repeated daily, create massive shifts over time. The seed doesn't sprout the same day it's planted, but every day you water it, the roots go deeper. Your consistency builds an invisible foundation for visible success. Most people question right before the results start showing because they don't understand that what feels slow today is building unstoppable momentum tomorrow. Consistency doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to what you do. Emotion fades, but commitment endures. Some days you'll wake up motivated, and other days you won't even want to get out of bed. But champions understand that motivation is seasonal, consistency is eternal. You can't depend on feelings to lead your future because feelings fluctuate. But when your commitment is stronger than your mood, your success becomes inevitable. Every time you act in faith, instead of waiting for a feeling, you strengthen your character and align your life with your destiny. Discipline is the secret ingredient that turns inspiration into transformation. You can't just be inspired. You must be instructed by your daily habits. A dream without discipline is a wish. You can't get divine results with casual commitment. The person who trains themselves to stay consistent, no matter how small the progress, will eventually outperform the one who only works when inspired. Discipline is how you tell the world. I mean business. It's how you tell your future self, saying you can trust me. Progress is invisible until it becomes unstoppable. There's a period where your results don't show, but your roots are growing. The gym doesn't change your body on day one. Reading doesn't change your mind in one night. Praying doesn't shift your world instantly. But when you do it again and again and again, something supernatural happens. What was once hard becomes easy. What was once invisible becomes undeniable. The compounding effect of daily effort turns mediocrity into mastery. One day people will look at you and say, "Son, you changed overnight," but you'll know the truth. You didn't change overnight. You changed daily, consistently, while no one was watching. And finally, understand this. God rewards diligence, not occasional effort. The universe doesn't multiply what you do once. It multiplies what you do faithfully. If you're faithful over little, you'll be made ruler over much. Faithfulness is consistency in motion. When you commit to showing up with excellence in small things, heaven takes notice. You're not just building habits, you're building credibility with your destiny. So decide today that consistency will become your new standard. Stop starting and stopping. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop calling procrastination and in preparation. The power is already in your hands. It's in your daily discipline, your faithful execution, your unwavering consistency. Because the truth is this: greatness isn't built in a moment. It's built in momentum. And momentum only belongs to those who stay consistent long enough to see what happens when effort meets faith and discipline meets destiny. Consistency is the bridge between desire and destiny, because wanting something and walking toward it are two completely different things. Desire is emotion. Now, it burns bright for a moment. Destiny, however, requires endurance. Everyone wants to live a better life. Everyone wants abundance, freedom, and fulfillment, but very few are willing to be consistent long enough to cross that bridge from wanting to walking, from wishing to working, from potential to manifestation. Consistency takes what you imagine in your mind and brings it into reality through repeated, disciplined action. You can pray for success, visualize success, speak success, but until your actions agree with your declarations, your destiny remains on the other side of inconsistency. The bridge is built through repetition, through showing up, even when the results don't show up. Each day you stay faithful to your process, you lay another plank on that bridge. Most people never reach their destiny because they get stuck in desire. They talk about what they want, but they never translate talk into traction. Desire is a spark, but consistency is the fire that keeps you warm through the winters of life. The bridge only forms when your daily habits start aligning with your highest vision. That's when momentum begins. That's when heaven starts recognizing your commitment. You can't sprint your way to destiny. You have to walk in rhythm, in discipline, in faith, one consistent step at a time. Every act of obedience, every disciplined day, every committed moment adds weight to your bridge. Eventually, your consistency becomes so strong that it can carry the full weight of your destiny. That's when you stop chasing blessings and start attracting them, because destiny doesn't respond to desire. It responds to consistency. Small actions repeated daily create massive shifts, because true transformation never happens in one big moment. It happens through the quiet repetition of small, intentional steps. The world celebrates big wins, but it overlooks the daily disciplines that made them possible. The truth is, the things that look insignificant in the moment are the VE, right? Things that create significant change over time. The seed you plant today may not show results tomorrow, but if you keep watering it, it will one day become the tree that gives shade to your entire future. Every action, no matter how small, compounds. Reading for 10 minutes a day shapes your mind. Saving a little every week builds your wealth. Praying or meditating daily strengthens your spirit. Speaking affirmations each morning renews your confidence. It's not the size of the effort. It's the consistency of the effort that transforms your life. Because small disciplines practiced over time become habits, and habits shape character, and character determines destiny. The problem is, most people underestimate the power of small. They think if they can't make a giant leap, there's no point in taking a small step. But greatness is never built in leaps. It's built in layers. Those who learn to appreciate small progress eventually experience exponential growth. The law of compound effect always works. It's just waiting for you to stay consistent long enough for it to reveal its power. Think about it. One drop of water doesn't carve a rock, but consistent drops over time create rivers through stone. Your repeated actions have the same power. When you keep showing up, even when it's inconvenient, even when it feels insignificant, your effort accumulates energy. One day, it becomes visible as breakthrough. That's why successful people don't chase results. They master routines. They understand that destiny doesn't require dramatic effort. It requires daily effort. So never despise the small beginnings. Every step matters. Every repetition counts. Every day of discipline moves you closer to a life that once felt impossible. Small actions done daily are not just habits. They are the hidden builders of massive shifts, the quiet architects of transformation, and the invisible foundation of success. Emotion fades, but commitment endures, because emotions are temporary visitors, while commitment is a lifelong companion. When you start something new, emotion gives you excitement. It's the rush that makes you believe anything is possible. But when the excitement wears off, only commitment can carry you through the silence between the seed and the harvest. Emotion is a spark, but commitment is the firewood that keeps the flame alive when the winds of doubt blow. Most people make decisions based on how they feel in the moment, not what they've committed to becoming. That's why they start strong but quit quietly. The gym feels exciting for a week. The business idea feels unstoppable for a month. The spiritual practice feels powerful for a season. But when emotion disappears, their consistency does too. Real growth begins the moment you stop depending on motivation and start operating from commitment. Commitment means you've made a decision that your emotions no longer get to vote on. It means you'll do what you said you'd do, long after the mood you said it in has left you. That's what separates dreamers from doers and believers from achievers. When emotion says, said, don't feel like it, commitment says, when we're doing it anyway. And every time you act in obedience to your commitment, you strengthen your discipline and weaken your excuses. The truth is, emotion is a poor leader. It changes with the weather. But commitment is a firm foundation. It stands through every season. Life will test you with boredom, discomfort, and delays. There will be moments when nothing seems to move, when your prayers seem unanswered, when your work feels unnoticed. In those moments, emotion will whisper, it's not worth it. But commitment will remind you, keep going. It's already, your destiny depends on how well you perform when you don't feel like performing. Because purpose doesn't wait for your feelings to align. It waits for your faithfulness to remain. The greatest rewards come to those who stay the course, who remain consistent in their actions, FAI, full in their process and loyal to their purpose long after emotion has faded. Emotion starts the journey, but commitment finishes it. Discipline turns inspiration into transformation because inspiration without discipline is just imagination. Inspiration gives you the idea, but discipline gives you the result. It's easy to get excited after hearing a powerful message, reading a life-changing book, or having a big dream, but without disciplined action, that energy fades as quickly as it came. Discipline is what turns the spark of inspiration into the steady flame of transformation. It's the difference between wishing for change and walking in change. Discipline is not punishment. It's alignment. It's bringing your actions into agreement with your aspirations. It's choosing to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Discipline means you show up for your vision when it's convenient and when it's not. It's the silent power behind every success story, the invisible work that builds visible results. People see the glory, but they rarely see the grind that produced it. Every time you act in discipline, you send a signal to your subconscious that you can be trusted with success. You prove to yourself that you are not ruled by feelings, but guided by purpose. That's when growth happens. When you stop waiting for motivation and start operating from mastery. Discipline creates structure, and structure creates strength. And strength gives you the endurance to keep showing up long enough for transformation to occur. The truth is, inspiration can awaken you, but discipline keeps you awake. You don't get transformed because you had a powerful moment. You get transformed because you turned that moment into a lifestyle. Discipline takes what you learn and converts it into who you become. It's the difference between hearing wisdom and living it. When you apply discipline daily, you stop living in cycles of start and stop and begin living in a rhythm of stead. Why? Progress. Transformation is not a lightning strike. It's a process powered by disciplined decisions. Every act of discipline compounds into strength, confidence, and credibility. Eventually, the life you once dreamed of becomes the life you now live, all because you refuse to let inspiration fade without discipline to sustain it. Progress is invisible until it's unstoppable because growth rarely announces itself in the beginning. It hides in the mundane, in the repetitions that seem to produce no result, in the days that feel like nothing is changing. But just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it isn't happening. Most of the transformation that changes your life happens underground, just like a seed. You don't see roots growing, but one day the ground breaks open and everything you've been nurturing in silence becomes visible for the world to see. The reason many people never experience breakthrough is because they quit during the invisible stage. They confuse silence with absence and slow progress with no progress. But what you don't see is often what's being built most powerfully. Every act of consistency, every prayer, every practice session, every decision to keep going, it's all stacking in your favor. The results may not show immediately, but they're accumulating energy behind the scenes. Success is like compounding interest. It looks small at first, then suddenly it multiplies. There's a tipping point where everything you've been building in private explodes in public. People will call it overnight success, but you'll know it took years of invisible progress to become unstoppable. It's not that the breakthrough came out of nowhere. It came out of daily faithfulness that refused to die. Invisible progress tests your patience. It asks, can you keep going when no one's clapping? Can you trust the process when the results don't match the effort? Because the truth is the process works, but only for those who work the process long enough. The invisible stage is where your character is built. It's where your faith deepens. It's where you learn that success isn't magic. It's momentum earned through time, pressure, and persistence. Then one day, something shifts. The results start catching up to your consistency. What was once hard becomes natural, what was once slow becomes fast, and what was once hidden becomes undeniable. Suddenly you become unstoppable. Not because you got lucky, but because you stayed loyal to your process when it looked like it wasn't working. Progress is always invisible before it becomes inevitable. And if you stay consistent long enough, your results will speak louder than your efforts ever could. God rewards diligence, not occasional effort, because faithfulness is the proof of belief. Anyone can be excited for a moment, but heaven responds to those who are steadfast. Diligence means you do it even when no one notices, even when no one praises you, even when it feels like your efforts are going unnaught. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. When you work with diligence, you're not just performing tasks, you're demonstrating trust. You're saying, God, I believe that what I do consistently will bear fruit in due season. The principle is simple. What you do continually is what multiplies. The farmer doesn't sow seeds once and expect a harvest forever. He sows, waters, and tends the field diligently. The reward comes not because he tried hard one day, but because he stayed faithful every day. In the same way, life doesn't bless sporadic effort. It blesses consistent stewardship. When you treat every opportunity like it matters, even the small ones, you activate divine multiplication. Occasional effort produces temporary results, but diligence produces lasting impact. The person who shows up daily in excellence will always outgrow the one who shows up only when convenient. God can't trust inconsistent hands with consistent blessings. Diligence creates stability, and ability attracts increase. It's how you move from survival to success and from success to significance. When you're diligent, your focus shifts from outcomes to obedience. You stop chasing results and start cultivating responsibility. You begin to understand that your job is faithfulness. God's job is fruitfulness. Your consistency becomes your covenant, and your excellence becomes your offering. Each time you show up and give your best, even in unseen moments, heaven records it. Nothing done in diligence is ever wasted. So don't get discouraged when your hard work seems unnoticed. You're building something eternal. Every late night, every early morning, every disciplined decision is a deposit into your destiny. Diligence may not pay instantly, but it always pays eventually, because God doesn't reward the one who tries once and quits. He rewards the one who keeps showing up in faith, excellence, and perseverance. That's how the doors of destiny open. Through hands that stay diligent, hearts that stay faithful, and spirits that never stop sowing, even when the field looks empty. Consistency is the foundation of every transformation and the evidence of true belief. It's the bridge that carries you from potential to purpose, from dreaming to doing, from intention to impact. Every principle you've heard, faithfulness, discipline, diligence, commitment, they all point to one truth. Success is not a single act, it's a lifestyle. It's built in the moments when you choose persistence over procrastination, action over excuses, and faith over fear. The power of consistency is that it doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. It molds your character, sharpens your focus, and aligns your actions with your destiny. When you learn to show up daily with excellence, even when nothing seems to move, you become the kind of person life can trust with greatness. The reward doesn't come because you tried once. It comes because you refuse to stop. Every day you stay consistent. You're making a statement to your future. I'm ready. You're telling God, Vice, you can count on me. And when heaven sees that kind of faithfulness, it responds. Because the truth is, you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You rise to the level of your consistency. So stay steady. Keep showing up. Keep watering the seed, even when you don't see the sprout. Keep believing even when it's quiet. Because one day, what was invisible will become undeniable, and what looked impossible will become inevitable. The power of consistency will take you from where you are to where you were always meant to be. And when that day comes, you'll look back and realize it wasn't the big moments that changed your life. It was every small, faithful, consistent step along the way.